What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Skeleton Closet, where we talk celebrity news and hot topics. Today, we gonna get straight into it, okay? Y'all have been going ham in the comments regarding the last video, and we gotta clear some things up. So, let's get into the video.
I'm gonna just run down my shout outs. Hey, done.
All right, so if you all remember, the last video I did had to do with Sharon Osborne reacting to being called racist after she defended Piers Morgan. She has been receiving a lot of backlash because of the way that she handled the situation when talking to her other co-host on The Talk. She completely disregarded, disrespected, and dismissed Cheryl Underwood and Elaine and the other co-host while trying to explain what was going on. She even went as far as to tell Cheryl Underwood that she shouldn't cry, but also crying at the same time while defending someone who is being seen as racist after he has continuously attacked Meghan Markle on his show, Good Morning Britain. Now, Sharon Osborne has released a statement, an apology of some sort, saying, after some reflection, after sitting with your comments and sitting with my heart, I would like to address the discussion on The Talk this past Wednesday. I have always been embraced with so much love and support from the Black community. Have you really? And I have deep respect and love for the Black community. To anyone of color that I offended and or to anyone that feels confused or let down by what I said, I am truly sorry. I panicked, felt blindsided, got defensive, and allowed my fear and horror of being accused of being racist take over. There are very few things that hurt my heart more than racism, so to feel associated with that spun me fast. I am not perfect. I am still learning like the rest of us, and will continue to learn, listen, and do better. And that she should have been more specific in her tweet when defending Piers Morgan. Now, even when she was on the show and she was defending herself saying, I ain't racist, immediately after she said that, I took note of the tone in which she said that, but also we have receipts that tell a different story about Sharon Osbourne's past. But before we get into that, I want to address her apology that she put on Twitter and on Instagram. Now, her apology does not mention Cheryl, the woman that she attacked and also tried to diminish on the show when talking about this incident. She told Cheryl Underwood that she shouldn't cry and the only person that should be crying is her. She tried to diminish a Black woman's feelings, and that I take particular offense to. So I have to say, I hope that public apology also came with a private apology to Cheryl Underwood, because we obviously didn't see Cheryl Underwood's name in that apology. So I hope that that public apology also came with a private apology, because we see that Cheryl Underwood's name is not in that apology anywhere. So she definitely needs to reach out to Cheryl if she hasn't already, to say that she apologizes for saying that she shouldn't be crying or shouldn't cry, but also dismissing her feelings as well. And I particularly don't even think that the apology should be private, because the disrespect was public. So the apology should be just as loud as the disrespect. And we see this time and time again. When people disrespect people, they always want to be like, oh, I'm so sorry, very quietly. But why can't your apology be just as loud as the disrespect that you dished out to that particular person? Now, moving on from her faux apology that she put on Twitter and Instagram that did not mention Cheryl Underwood or the rest of the ladies of The Talk, we got to get into something else. Sharon Osborne said that she wanted examples. She said time and time again, show me, show me. Well, Sharon Osborne, here are the receipts, okay? We're going to get into the new allegations of you calling previous co-host, quote unquote, ghetto on the show. My friend Aaron, shout out to the house of Aaron, sent me something. And I was like, no, this lady did. Now, if you all remember, when The Talk first aired, there was some other co-hosts on the show. One of them being Holly Robinson Peete. After the first season, it was like, poof, she was gone. And everybody was like, what happened? Why did you leave? And it comes to find out that Miss Robinson Peete was let go. Her contract was not renewed. And she never knew why. But, you know, just like everything else in Hollywood, the skeletons come out of the closet. We find out what happens and we get down to the bottom of the truth. So after Sharon Osborne disrespected Cheryl Underwood on The Talk, Holly Robinson Peete tweets and says, I'm old enough to remember when Sharon complained that I was too ghetto for the talk, then I was gone. Poof, smoke emoji. I bring this up now because I was mortified watching the disrespectful, condescending tone she took with her co-host, who remained calm because she had to. Because the racial stereotype, the racist trope of being ghetto also aligns with the racist trope and the racist stereotype of the angry black woman. Holly Robinson Peete is getting down to the bottom of why she was fired, but also why Sheryl Underwood had to remain so calm, cool, and collected when dealing with Sharon Osborne yelling at her. So yes, Holly Robinson Peete is saying that this most racially coded word was used to get her axed from this show. And that word came out of Sharon Osborne's mouth. So look at that, Sharon Osborne. That is one of the examples of how you are racist. We already know how Piers Morgan is racist, but you know what? If that's not enough for you, this is not something that is new for the Osborne family. So it's been said that Sharon thought that Leah Remini, who was also a co-host on the show, as well as Holly, were too ghetto. So at the time in 2011, Holly Robinson Peete told The Hollywood Reporter that she was confused, shocked, and puzzled as to why she was let go. She says, usually when you get fired, your boss brings you in, sits you down, and tells you why they can't keep you. They say, we have to downsize, or you're not doing this, you're not doing that. I was never given that opportunity. Then she continues to say, so I just started hearing rumors that other people were hired. Then she says, so I'm like, that's gonna be a crowded table. And I couldn't get anything from my agents, no one could get anything from anybody. And just that I was released from my contract. It was the most peculiar situation. The story also says it wasn't until about 2 days before the show's second season was about to launch in September when Peete was officially informed she wasn't coming back. And even then, she didn't know why. Then she talks about how she has been trying to figure out why she was let go. She wanted to get down to the bottom of what the factors were that involved her being let go from the show. She says, the main issue with the talk is when you have someone who's in power, when you have somebody who's in a power position and who can make decisions, there's not a lot of recourse. There's not a lot of discussion. And so because of that, they can pretty much do what they want. So basically hinting at the fact that there are people that are on the show or control the show have more power than her. There are people that, are pulling the strings. Now, at the time, there was someone on the show by the name of Julie Chen. Now, if you remember, Julie Chen is no longer on the show because her husband, Leslie Moonves, had some things going on as far as sexual misconduct and sexual assault allegations. Now, ultimately, Julie Chen stepped away from the show after these allegations, but also because the nepotism that this looks like, your husband is literally pulling the strings of the network, yet you are in the middle chair of this daytime talk show. That has to look like nepotism. But you know what? We're not even talking about that. We getting into who said these things about Holly Robinson Peete. Now, at the time in 2011 when this report was written, Peete chose not to confirm that Julie Chen had anything to do with her being axed from the show. But now we know that the person that she was alluding to was Sharon Osborne because of her recent tweet. Sharon Osborne wanted receipts. Sharon Osborne wanted examples of racism, and this is one of them. As well, there are people in the comments trying to talk about how Sharon Osborne didn't do anything racist. Now, I have to say that racism isn't always calling a black person or a person of color the N-word. Racism can be very covert and very systematic and deliberate. It's actually these type of racist behaviors that has allowed racism to continue for so long. And as well, racists never want to accept what it is that they are, but their track record speaks for itself, okay? When you have continuously done certain things that make you look racist and you act racist, what's that saying? If it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, then it is a duck. We need to get Affleck on the phone because Sharon Osborne is pretty much a duck at this point. And baby girl, you're racist, okay? I know a lot of people are upset with that, but it is what it is. Again, if it quacks like a duck, it walks like a duck. So after these new allegations, I have to bring up the fact that, you know, we had another black woman that was on the show, Eve. What happened to her? She left. Did Sharon Osborne have something to do with her leaving the show as well? Miss Tone Deaf Sharon Osborne. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, because obviously you all know what I think about this. The skeletons are already out in the open. We have already discussed this in the previous video. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you think that Sharon Osborne said what she said about Holly Robinson Peete? Holly Robinson Peete has no reason to lie, so that's already been deemed to be true. So I want to know what you guys think about all this down in the comment section below. But as well, you have to take into account the pattern, okay? You have her saying this about Holly Robinson Peete, but as well, her defending Piers Morgan, then yelling and telling a black co-host not to cry, as well, her daughter. We just have to talk about her daughter on The View, because this contributes to the pattern of racism that is surrounded by Sharon Osborne and her name, okay? I know you all remember that infamous video or that infamous segment when Kelly Osborne was on The View and she said, if you kick the Latinos out of the country, you know what? I'm just gonna play the video and then we're gonna talk about it.
This country that do agree that the immigration problem is a problem and it does need to be addressed and it does need to be fixed.
Interesting.
But making those comments, those racist comments, do not help.
And if you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that,
No.
you know what I mean? Like when I'm saying that
There's more jobs to be
in LA, they always
But
they don't.
Latinos are not only the only people
I didn't mean
doing
it like
that.
that. Come on.
That is probably the most self-imploding times I have ever seen a co-host on a TV show. It gave me the secondhand embarrassment that I never want to feel again. And you can literally see the shock and awe on the rest of the co-host's face. And that type of self-execution, I don't want to wish on anybody. I'm just bringing it up so that you all know and you can see that there is a history of this. I don't want to rehash things, but I'm trying to establish a pattern here. And there is a clear and distinct pattern of Sharon Osborne and Kelly Osborne being racist. So again, if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, then Aflac, what is it? So I suggest tone deaf Sharon Osborne, just shut the F up, okay? Your big mouth is what got you in trouble in the first place. So now you just need to be quiet, okay? Just be quiet. Stop being so loose-lipped. Like you said, your anger and your passion got the best of you. So now you just need to calm the F down and be quiet. Maybe this will be a really good time for her to learn some things and take into account that you should listen before you speak. So I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section. Do you think that Sharon Osborne was simply just defending her friend? Or do you think it was a racist defending another racist? Because I definitely want to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But also hit that like button so that I can know how you feel about today's video. As well, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can join us in the closet and be a part of the fam. Because as you can see, we got so many more skeletons to pull out of the closet. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.